It's strange how a single sentence can rip through your life like a bullet. Mine came with a smirk and a toast. My boss, Gregory Shaw, CEO, charming, rich, the kind of man who talks and people stop breathing, pointed his glass across the dinner table, right at my wife and said, "She's with me tonight." Everyone laughed. My wife, my Anna, smiled, leaned back in her chair and said, "I agree." The laughter kept going, echoing, blending with the clinking of crystal and low jazz, but my mind froze. For a split second I thought it was some kind of inside joke. The kind you pretend to laugh at to fit in. I forced a chuckle, trying to hide the sting in my chest. But Anna didn't even glance at me. She looked at him. Only him. We were at the company gala, a yearly circus where the rich and ambitious pretended to like each other. Anna had insisted we go, said it was important for my career, that Gregory had been noticing my work, that this could be my moment. I spent weeks preparing. The right suit, the right tone, the right everything. I wanted to make her proud. But when Gregory raised that glass and said those words, everything I'd built inside me began to crumble. The rest of the night blurred. I remember Anna's laugh, sharp and bright like glass breaking. I remember Gregory's hand brushing her shoulder when he passed behind her chair. I remember her not moving away. I remember feeling like an outsider at my own table. When I tried to talk to her later, she said, "Oh, come on, don't be dramatic. It was a joke." A joke. Maybe it was. Maybe I was being insecure. That's what I told myself on the drive home, while she hummed along to the music, scrolling her phone. But the image wouldn't leave me, her smile, his smirk, the way their eyes found each other across the room like something already decided. I barely slept that night. Over the next few days, things started clicking in ways I didn't want them to. Gregory started calling me into his office more often, but not for work. "How's Anna?" he'd ask casually, flipping through papers. "She's lovely. You're lucky, you know." I'd smile and say, "Yeah, I know." But he'd keep going. "You should bring her around more. She brightens the room." The first time he said that, I wanted to believe he meant it innocently. The fifth time I knew he didn't. Anna started dressing up more for lunches with friends. She started turning her phone face down. And once, when I walked into the kitchen, she was deleting messages faster than I could ask what she was doing. "Just clearing space," she said with that little laugh that used to melt me. It didn't melt me anymore. It burned. One Friday, Gregory invited us both to dinner at his house. "Just a few people from the office," he said. Anna was excited, almost too excited. She wore a red dress I'd never seen before, tight in ways that made my stomach twist. On the drive there, she kept checking her reflection, adjusting her lipstick. When I reached for her hand, she pulled it away gently, pretending to fix her hair. His house was enormous. Cold. The kind of place where even the air feels expensive. There weren't a few people. There were two, me and her. He greeted us with that practiced warmth, handed Anna a glass of wine, and patted my shoulder like a father humoring a child. "Let's make this a night to remember," he said. We sat by the pool, city lights flickering below. He talked about business, travel, power, things I used to admire. But his eyes never left her. And she didn't seem to mind. When he leaned in to whisper something, she laughed softly, that same laugh from the gala. I watched it happen in real time. The slow erasure of boundaries. The way their world folded me out of it. At some point I excused myself to the bathroom just to breathe. When I came back, they were gone. I found them by the balcony, too close, silhouettes framed by city light. His hand on her back. Her hand not moving it away. They didn't see me. I stood there watching, my heart pounding so hard I thought I'd faint. And then I heard her voice, soft and trembling but not afraid. "You shouldn't," she whispered. He said, "Then tell me to stop." She didn't. I left without a word. Drove aimlessly until dawn. When I got home, she was already there, pretending to be asleep. I stared at her for a long time, wondering when she stopped being mine. I didn't confront her right away. I wanted proof. I wanted to be sure. So I played along. I smiled. I kissed her cheek before work. I made her breakfast on Sundays. And every day I watched. Gregory started giving me fewer projects. Less FaceTime. Anna started coming home later. One night, I saw her phone light up with his name. "Gregory, work," it said. She saw me see it. Her face went pale. "He was just asking about your proposal," she lied. Then call him back, I said quietly. Her lips parted but no sound came. That silence told me everything. That's when my revenge began. Not the loud kind, not the kind with shouting or broken dishes. The quiet kind. The patient kind. I started documenting everything. Every message she deleted. Every night she came home late. Every business trip he recommended I skip. I sent anonymous tips to HR about Gregory's inappropriate conduct. I forwarded his late-night messages to the compliance team from a fake email I made. I didn't need to expose Anna, not yet. She was already digging her own hole. 3 months later, he was under investigation for misconduct. 2 more, and he was taking a leave of absence. When the board announced his suspension, Anna found out the same way everyone else did. Through the news alert that flashed on her phone. She looked at me, stunned, pale, her eyes searching mine for something. I gave her nothing. That night she finally confessed. She cried, begged, said it was a mistake, said she thought he loved her, said she didn't know why she did it. She said all the things I used to imagine she'd say, only I felt nothing hearing them. Not rage. Not sadness. Just a hollow sort of relief. You ruined him, she whispered when she realized what I'd done. I nodded. No, I said quietly. He ruined himself. You just helped. She moved out 2 weeks later. I didn't stop her. I didn't chase her. I didn't even watch her leave. I just sat at the kitchen table, listening to the sound of drawers closing, bags zipping, doors creaking. Each sound was another nail sealing a coffin I'd been living in for months. Sometimes late at night I still think about that gala. About how different things might have been if she'd looked at me instead of him. If I'd taken her hand and walked out right then, instead of staying to laugh along. Maybe that was my mistake. I kept trying to save something that was already ashes. Few weeks ago I saw her again. At a cafe downtown. She was alone, stirring her coffee, looking smaller somehow. Our eyes met for a second. She smiled, the same smile that once felt like home. But it didn't hurt this time. It just felt gone. She mouthed, "I'm sorry." I nodded. That was enough. Revenge didn't make me feel better. It didn't fix the hole she left. It didn't give me closure. It just gave me silence. And in that silence I learned the hardest truth of all. Sometimes the person you'd burn the world for is the one holding the match.